I would like to welcome everyone to this session. I always say meeting. It's not a meeting, it's a discussion. And
That's all good.
and we're going to discuss about financial literacy. Of course, so I will introduce myself.
Yes.
My name is Caroline. My friends call me Chebo. Back to our session today. With me is Hana Shapira, one of the most renowned consultants in financial literacy. I will not talk much about Anna. She will need to introduce herself. So welcome, Anna, to this meeting. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having me. Like your passion to healthcare people and what you do is amazing, and you're an amazing giving person. So I'm really honored to be here today and to invited to speak today. And we're not speaking; it's not a session. We're having conversation and helping people. And I love that about you. So thank you. A little bit about me. My name is Hana. I have a business called Officiency. I'm passionate about supporting business owners and people to understand their finances. Can be running a business or home financing, home budgeting. I'm a bookkeeper, I'm a bus agent, and I'm financial literacy coach. And like you, I'm passionate about helping people through many different ways. So looking forward to this chat.
Good job. Good on you. The reason why I set up this session is that people in direct care, especially like disability workers, aged care workers, you find that nowadays there is no reassurance of a job. You go from one shift to another one, and sometimes these shifts are short, others are longer. And budgeting that money is not really easy thing. And even having enough money is not enough, considering that the cost of living is really gone up in the past couple of years, and meeting that need of being sure of taking care of yourself and your family is not an easy fit. So that is why I thought of this idea to get somebody like Anne to come and teach us about, or share with us, have a conversation about what are the ways that we can budget this money, that the little money that we have. So I think allow me to jump into the first question, Anna.
I will start with a disclaimer.
Yes.
And I will say that this information that providing in the session and all the materials are for information and educational purposes, because it doesn't take your personal circumstances. So you always should seek an advice from your advisor that will take into account your personal circumstances.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much.
Now back to you.
Yes, back to me.
Very important.
My first question is this. Yes. I've been a casual worker before. I've worked for agencies when I came to Australia. I went through a lot and I was looking for a job. One agency gave me 2 hours. Another one gave me 6 hours. I couldn't budget. I have children at home. They want to go to school. And in looking at that, coming to that now, income was a problem to me. And then I got a job and budgeting that money was not enough. So with that kind of jobs that I believe people right now are facing in direct care work, be it in aged care, disability, even social work, all this, or even nursing, what are some realistic ways to budget when your pay is from 1 week, you are relying on week to week? What are realistic ways of budgeting this income?
First, I would say what you need to take into account, what to consider, what to look at, the minimum that you're getting. So you need to build your budget around the minimum that you know. So if you know that, for example, because many shift carers and many employees in the health section, and it's not only in Australia, my sisters actually both works in this session. And they need to have, in order to have a decent income, they're working 3 places. So they're running also from one place to another. So it's very common to this profession all around the world that it's hard to find a full-time job. So you need to work like 2 or 3, or even if you work one place, they send you to 5 different places. So my first advice will be always plan on the base minimum that you know that you're getting. So
Mhm.
if you know that one employee will always give you the 20 hours
Mhm.
and the rest is kind of seasonal or unsure,
Mhm.
always plan around the 20 hours that you know that you get income. And the rest is kind of a bonus. It's not really a bonus because you need it to live,
Yeah,
but in a sense, for budgeting and for saving, that
yeah.
will be your on top of it. And unfortunately, yes, we need to work 2 or 3 jobs in order
To make ends
to
meet.
make an yes.
Another question that I wanted to ask today is that for those of us who at times feel like our income is only cover essential goods, because most of the time we pay the bills. That's the first thing. Pay the rent if you're renting, pay the mortgage if you're living in your own house. Then the next thing is gas, electricity, food, and stuff like that. How can we still start saving or build an emergency fund for a rainy season, considering that our first priority are bills?
Have to pay bills and we have to, feed the children.
Mm.
Um, I would say first, if you can, even $10 a week before you even pay the bill, put a little bit aside before you even pay the bills. All right, that will be the first thing. Then when you look at the end of the month, when you look at your bank account and see after you pay all the bills, after you pay the mortgage or the rent and the bills and the doctors and everything, if there is any extra left, put anything extra. Now, have a separate bank account under your bank account as well. Have a separate bank account for savings, or you can call it emergency fund
Yes.
if you have extra and you're trying to save for something additional. So, for example, for a holiday or to replace your car or to put a little bit to buy an investment or to invest in shares, whatever it is that you want to do, have a bank account for each of your savings. So, and name it. Name one, name emergency fund, the other name holiday, the third name whatever it is. So you know that you are working towards a purpose. So you're saving towards a purpose. Obviously, if it's a rainy month or you haven't worked a lot or something happened, you can always chip and take this money because this is what it's there for. Another tip that I can give is round things up.
Yeah.
And there are actually, the banks will have a mobile app for saving rounding. So let's say, for example, I bought in calls for 23.45, I will round it to 25.
Yeah.
So $1 here and there when you buy something is manageable. It's not a lot, but think about every time that you either tap your card or buy something or pay online bill, if you round it up a little bit, it will be a lot of money in this emergency fund at the end of the week and at the end of the month and at the end of the year. So those little things can go a very long way.
So, what tax deductions or government benefits or salary packaging options are available specifically for care workers?
Let me start with what you say that here in Australia, you're right. What happened is the tax is deducted from your salary, but
Yeah.
it is not it's not what you need to pay at the end of the financial year. So what it is, it's an estimate based on what you are supposed to be earning.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's become more complex when you're working like 2, 3 places
Yeah.
as how much tax is deducted.
Yeah.
What happened is at the end of the financial year, when you lodge your taxes, the ATO know, okay, this is what you earned. Now we know from A, B, C, D, like from 3 places that you worked, maybe you have a little bit of interest from the bank, maybe you have a rental property or you sold shares. So now we know how much you need to pay. We know how much you already paid. So now you either need to pay the balance or we will refund you. If you are an employee, in general, you do, and you don't have any other income. So you don't have rental properties, you didn't sell shares, you don't have heaps of money in the bank that you earn interest, let's say that that's the only thing that you have, in general, you paid enough taxes. So you either get a refund and not pay more. Now, rightly, as you mentioned, each profession have some expenses that might be considered as tax deduction. And if you have a good tax agent, they will advise you and prompt you to ask you, hey, did you pay for this or for that, in order to maximize your return. So some common expenses for specifically for healthcare professional, it might be that you need to wear uniform for work. All right. Now, if you need to wear runner, for example, this will not be considered because you can wear runners every day. But if you are a nurse and you need your outfit, or if you are working for a company and you wear a t-shirt logo, if you are a nurse working in, I don't know, maybe in ER and you need steel cap boots, I don't know for what reason, or non-slip ones, then those might be considered as a deduction. You might be working from home. So I don't know, you might need to write reports for clients or fill up. So you might be able to claim working from home deductions. If you are going using your car from your workplace and you're going for, let's say, home visits. I don't know, some nurses goes and do home visits, some other health professional do. So the travel, not to your work, because to work is commuting, but if you're traveling from work to this client, client A, client B, client C, and back, maybe you need to go and buy materials or something for the client. So the travel can be deductible as well. Did you know that, for example, the fees that you pay your tax agents are deductible?
Yes.
Charitable donation, but you need to be careful with that because it needs to be registered to be a gift donation. So not all donation is deductible. You can't get something in return. So if you buy a raffle to something, even if 1,000, like I recently donated to the Paralympics, but it got me into a draw.
Wow.
So it's not a donation. It's like I can't deduct it. I'm happily giving to whoever I think is deserving, and and it's my passion. So I gave money, but it's not a deductible. So it's nowhere on my books. You can make extra contribution to your super. That may be a deductible as well. So there are a lot of things that you can, explore.
Thank you so much. And for sure, it is true. It depends from one organization. I mean, career sector to another one. I remember when I was in aged care, I was disability, sorry. I was doing a sleepover one time and I was with one of the staff members. It was about time it was in June. And we were cooking, and then I didn't have an apron, that apron that you wear in the kitchen. And my friend told me, my colleague said, why don't you have an apron? I said, I can't. Why should I buy that? I don't have the money. And she said, you can get it through that tax. Yeah, you can claim through tax. That is what she said. And I'm like, what? And then the other time again at work, I'm now a social worker. One of my colleagues were talking about courses like mental health. I wanted to do mental health first aid, and I didn't have the money. And she said, one of the colleagues told me, you can claim on tax, and I did, and I succeeded. So thank you so much.
That's brilliant. I forgot about that. You're amazing. 100%. So professional development
Absolutely.
courses. So as long as it's related to your profession and work, like for example, if now you want to be a security guard, you can't put it because you're a health profession. And what I wanted to say is, I just want to say one thing that you started with. We work extremely hard and we pay a lot of taxes. So if we can maximize and close the gap a little bit, every dollar count, and we work hard for it, so we should.
Definitely 100%. And thank you so much for that. So, just like with cases with everyone else trying to survive in this world, sometimes we incur caused by debts, like borrowing money from someone, and then it spirals up. It becomes cumulative. It becomes even difficult for us to pay back. What do you suggest as being some of the effective and manageable ways to pay it down and regain control?
I would say start repaying the one that you have higher interest on,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the one that cost you more. So you want to pay for the one that cost you more, so the one with more interest on it. Another one can be if you have multiple loans, and you pay no interest or very low or the same interest on all. Start with the one that is the smallest one, because it will be an achievement. It will be, wow, that's it, one less loan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anne. Now, another question is in care sector with multiple employers, how can we make sure that our super is growing and not being lost? How do people make sure that how do they monitor their super so that they are together in one basket?
It used to be like that. When I arrived to Australia as well about 25 years ago, every employer told you that's the super that you are using and that's it. So I think I have, in a span of like 5 years, I had like 3 of them. And then I did consolidate as well.
How did you do? Because it's tedious.
I just called one and I said, I'm moving to you guys. What do I need to do? And they sent me the forms, and obviously they did it for you because it's beneficial for them because they make money. If you will log in, so if you don't yet have the MyGov ID, the MyGov, so the super should be there. So you should be able to see there what supers do you have, what super funds you have. All right, so if you will log into your MyGov, you are able to see that. Now, another thing that I want to
do that.
MyGov, and absolutely like consolidate. See, for example, if you have insurance within the super fund. So, because initially I had my life insurance within the super, and then years later I was paying too much for no cover at all. So also check what insurances do you get and if it's worthwhile, or if you better do it somewhere else. So consolidate. At the moment, super is paid quarterly. So once a quarter, please log into your MyGov or log in directly to your super fund and see if the money is there. Because the fact that it says in your payslip that this payslip you're being paid $100, $500, whatever it is, doesn't mean that the employer actually transferring the money. And I can tell you from experience of a friend of mine, he worked for 2 years for a small employer. So it was a small employer, 5 employees. Now my friend didn't check his super. And 2 years after working for this person, he started to question, and then he told him, my accountant is checking, This guy bankrupt.
Wow.
If you're bankrupt, that's it. Like, this debt can never be repaid. So maybe people that he owed money elsewhere could recover, but super cannot recover. So for 2 years, he worked. Super was on the payslip, but was never paid. And it cannot be recuperated because I did call everyone that I could, including the ATO and this and Fairworks, and I got the same answer. That's it. It's done and dusted. If somebody bankrupt, then you lost your money. So please be diligent, and the fact that again that it's in the payslip, don't count on it. Log in. Now, what I mentioned before when we talked about deduction, that if you have extra money and you would like to make additional contribution, then you can, and it can be tax deductible. You need to put it in your super fund before mid-June. I would say early June, decide if you want to put extra contribution.
Yeah.
You need to contribute the money. You need to fill up a form and send it to your super fund and said, I've put another $1,000, 500, 5,000, whatever it is, as deductible super. And then they, as a personal contribution. And then they will just send you an acknowledgement email to say that it's acknowledged that, and that whatever you put, if you have this letter and you put it by specific date, then you can reduce your taxes with that as well. It's up to you, but it's another way.
While you were talking, my mind was racing when you talked about companies going broke. I've worked for a company that was sold to another one.
Yeah.
And I didn't even check if the super came through or disappeared with the other company. How do we know about that?
Technically, if it's sold and you just shift the employment, so the employer shifts and you're moving with the company, all your rights and all, like even your annual leave and everything should continue. If it's a new employment, then the previous company should pay everything and you're starting new, but sometimes it's continuous. So it depends like what was the agreement and what was the shift.
Oh, that's good. Now, another question is, how can we plan financially? For example, for us who are doing casual work or contract, sometimes we don't get money for leave. How do we plan that such that we do not create stress for ourselves when we are doing study or having a family time, family rest, or having a rest away from work to take care of a loved one? How do we budget that?
Technically, a casual employee and either full-time, part-time employee earns exactly the same per hour, technically. Because what happened is, as a casual employee, you get 20% extra loading. And this 25%, what did I say? I don't know. 25% loading. And this 25% is to cover your annual leave and personal leave. So if you want to plan for your annual leave or a leave without pay, because basically it's not annual leave, and you can afford, take the 25% from your salary and put it aside. And that's your annual leave.
Perfect. Now, this question rings home close to me. I don't have a mindset for money. To me, my upbringing and socialization is money is evil. So don't worry about money. As long as you're able to eat, as long as you're able to wear, to pay your bills and put on clothes, don't worry about money. But in reality, money can help you grow. Money can afford you good services. Money can afford you healthcare. What are some of the ways to strengthen our financial mindset and feel more confidence when it comes to managing money? How do we go about that?
Like you said, yes, we need to pay the bills, but we have dreams. We want to help people. I want to try. I was at the event this morning and I met this lady who traveled 100 countries. I told her, I want to be you when I was growing up, when I grow up, sorry. Like, I want to see 100 countries and more. So think about the dreams that you have, not what money can achieve, but money is dreams. Money is fulfilling our dreams. And it helping us achieve things. So just it's you're absolutely right. It's this mindset. But money is not just paying the bills or repaying our loan. And like we grow in our professions or professional development or learning, like you're learning in your capacity as a health worker, you can learn, you can do anything else. Surround yourself, listen to podcasts, motivational podcasts about money, about life, about whatever it is, and just tell yourself, like, yeah, I can learn money, I can, so yeah.
Thank you for that empowerment. I'm going to think about it. I need to put in a lot. Another question, Anne, I wanted to ask is, and this is the last question, what long-term financial steps can help care workers move from just getting by to truly building sustainability independence in Australia? And I've read this word by word because it matters. Considering that Australian living standards, men, are high, it's very tough living in this country. How do we go about that? Because most people are renting, there's housing crisis and stuff like that. How do we go about building stability in our financial independence?
I think it's kind of, I will, in a sense, summarize everything that we spoke about. I will go to what I've started with is knowing your income and expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Plan for a rainy day. So start saving. Shift your mindset like we spoke a couple of minutes ago. Shift your mindset because it's not only surviving, it's thriving. And I think once you do this shift, it allows you to achieve way, way more. Once you believe in yourself that it's not only I'm paying the bills, but I can have my home, I can have a holiday, I can buy. I think the universe provide in a sense. We work
Yeah.
hard and it's not that money falls from the trees.
Yeah.
But I think that the universe it provides, and if we and God provides however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So once we shift our mindset, once we start building good habits like saving and rounding and putting the 25% aside, or building your superannuation, maybe start investing if you can, if you want, find somebody to help you do that. So a little bit from here, a little bit from there will go a long way. This is to my contact us page on my website, so you can see the whole website. But the contact us page basically have all the ways to contact me. You can book 15 minutes chat to see how I can help you, ask me any questions. You can register to my newsletter or just send me an email through the contacts page. I think that there are links there to my Facebook as well and to my LinkedIn. So you're always welcome to collect on LinkedIn. And like I said at the beginning, I am helping business owners through bus lodgement and payroll and daily bookkeeping, as well as helping, women to feel confidence about money.